Hi guys, good evening from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Time it's around 10:30, pretty early, not very late night. I'm going to do a very special episode. At least in my world, this is a very special fragrance lineup that I truly love. As you can see, all big stars are like right standing in front of you, one by one. About six fragrances I'll discuss today, and I'll let you know why I like this lineup and similar fragrances to Dior Homme Intense. This may run a little bit long. This may be a very big episode because there are quite a few fragrances I want to talk about. This is not a list or ranking or any such thing. All these fragrances are very special to me, okay? All of them. My journey started with this kind of irisy lineup with this fragrance that everybody knows me by is this perfume, like they know, you guys know that those who are with me for since 2016, this is that bottle, 50 ml bottle that started my journey with Dior. This is the first fragrance I bought in my journey officially, and Lhomme Sport Eau Extreme, two bottles. Okay, these are my two of the very first buys officially as a collector. I still have these older bottles just for memory's sake, and I also bought L'Oreal, Ultra Male, few fragrances at that time. But Dior Homme Intense remained like love of my life. The day I sniffed it, I fell in love with it. I wore it absolutely everywhere. This is a bit darker compared to the newer batches. I am putting my bottles next to each other, so you'll see the difference actually. I don't know if it picks up. They almost look like dark, but I think the left one is darker. If I can show you, I have another older batch, not vintage, but older batches. Okay, now you can tell the difference, right? This is older Dior Homme Intense and the right one is newer. Okay, even this one got darker. This used to be much lighter, so they get dark in time. So I do have those bottles, and I have a backup of also newer batch. So kind of like a Dior Homme Intense galore. Okay, I do have Dior Homme Parfum bottles as well. So Dior Homme Intense remain my most favorite from the line. They do have Dior Homme Original, and then they have Dior Homme Eau, Dior Homme Sport, Dior Homme Cologne, and I think the newer, older batches of Dior Homme, there are plenty of variations, but the original, this one, always got me like noticed, got great performance. I always love this perfume for every reason possible. I understand that this is not everybody's cup of tea. Dior Homme Intense is a very expensive fragrance nowadays to buy, and this has been like changed, I think, to a newer sort of version. I don't know how that one is, but I think this one, it's pretty beautiful. I get that iris, that lipsticky, gorgeous, sweet, little bit like a leathery vibe from this, and the perfect balance between sweetness and a little bit of a darkness, that uh, chocolatey property makes it really interesting. I'll talk about LIDGE in the end because this is the most mature of them all. Okay, this doesn't have the iris, but I find them to be in the same family. So Dior Homme Intense for me did everything every year. Whatever list I make, this perfume makes that list for good reasons. It's one of my most complimented and most favorable perfume. I just love it absolutely. And then afterwards, I think people did say the original Dior Homme, that had more iris, lipsticky iris. But I'll tell you what, this is the one that is the best version of Dior Homme Intense in my humble opinion. You can get Dior Homme Parfum if you live in a colder country where it is sort of like snowing. You get leather and oud in there. But for me, that is a bit too animalic. Okay, it's stronger than this, but I love absolutely Dior Homme Intense. So after that, what happened was they did release in 2016 or 15, I don't remember, vividly remember, Dior Valentino Uomo Intense. So this is also not the original one. The original one of this was Dior, Valentino Uomo. I also have that, but this one they came out with the punch, like very strong performance. Some people, there's no iris in there. I do get that similarity between Dior Homme Intense. That's why I put it here. This is more like a dark chocolate leather and beast mode performance. Sometimes I feel Dior Homme Intense and Valentino Intense are very strong competition because of that performance. And I bought this fragrance. This is my second bottle, and this is the older formulation. As you can see, these cheap magneto sort of cap, very very cheap. Used to be the older bottles. Newer ones, they put this studded pattern. You can find them in, let's say, something like Born in Roma, coral, whatever the coral note, the name is, forget the name, but these are very different fragrances, not the same. Okay, Born in Roma is different line. So this was also love of my life as well. I compared them. At times I picked this one as a winner, sometimes I picked this as a winner. Okay, and these were glorious times because that time Jeremy was like a really really at his best. That time community was booming, blooming. Every single reviewer, we had a lot of more perfume reviewers at that time. We were having fun, right? So it was exciting times. Hypes were real. Fragrance were selling like hotcake. La Nuit de l'Homme, Dior Intense, CH Man, Previa Man. I think 2016 was the best fragrance year for me because I started my journey 2015, and it went all downhill from there. I think nowadays, yeah, it's great. Comedy is great, but it's not as fun as the days we had before. Obviously, many of you will not agree. You still say like I'm being biased, but you know, 2016 was the best year for me for perfumes. So this one, it had like this dark chocolatey tone with that added leather. It's very beautiful. I just love it as much as Dior Intense. Sometimes like 9, 10. That's the difference. Okay, this is also pretty good, pretty solid like Dior Intense. Then the third one I want to talk about, let's make some space. Yeah, the one now that is very hard to find. Just like this is actually the newer Valentino Intense. I don't know how much changes they made, but I think this smell is still available in the new version, but prices are very high, $150 plus. This is also $150, 100 mil. So the one that really broke my heart is this one, Prada Lhomme Intense. This is also a flanker to Prada Lhomme. And when I bought this, man, I told you in my review how much this fragrance made a statement. One of the fine winters, I wore this perfume in one of the shops. It was really good winter that year, I think 2019 or something like that. And the shopkeeper told me, whatever you're wearing, it just filled up the whole shop because the AC was on. And he said, this smells so expensive. And this one is so like a rich people's perfume. And those are the kind of compliments come from people who have no idea about perfumes, or they are not into your scent of the day, or they don't like hold much knowledge, but to them, whatever smell nice, they say it. And since then, I just loved it. And then they discontinued this. This is super hard to find now. And Prada Lhomme, you can find Prada Lhomme sometimes, but Prada Lhomme Intense is a bit hard to find. This one had that added patchouli, leather, and that oomph on the top of the iris. So this one also was like Valentino Uomo, but this was more like a clean, fresh, like a Prada soapy kind of a DNA with that added iris, and I just love it. All three, love of my life. Okay, these three, I'm gonna get a backup of this. I have to pay a very hefty price tag very soon for one of these bottles. I am on the fence, with this one because I don't want to spend $150 to get a bottle that could be had before for $70 or so. So anyway, what you gonna do? But really beautiful bottle, this one. I have few sprays left here, like about 10 ml or so. Once this one runs out, then I have to get that back up. Very beautiful. All three are 10 so far. Okay, so now the relatively newer players are these two. Okay, these are also sort of inspired by Dior Intense DNA. They sort of like notice that Dior Intense is getting some sales, some love, some popularity. Let's do our version. So Givenchy, they came up with this Gentleman line, which is a new line compared to the 70s lineup, which I also have, but that is a very different fragrance. And they do have Givenchy Gentleman only line. That is a different line. So this one is the one EDP version. Okay, Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum. Okay, so some of you may say this is not the one that's close to Dior Intense. Most of you want to see a comparison between this and Dior Intense because the juice color is kind of similar. This one has the iris, also got the booze, but just because the boozy note, I find the EDP closer to this original Dior Intense DNA. So that's why I'm putting it here, and this is my most favorite from the line. Okay, that's another reason I picked my favorites. These are kind of smaller bottles nowadays. Before it used to be a little bit bigger, taller bottle, but it's the same 100 ml standard. The prices are around 80 something dollars if you buy now, so a little bit cheaper than the previous three. Okay, these three, if you buy retail, they're gonna be more than 100, 150 like that. This one's gonna retail somewhere 80 something dollars. Okay, so this one, it's really a gem. Really solid performer, the best performer from this line, hands down. I just absolutely love it. A little bit of spice, a little bit of a marshmallow smell, a little bit of a sweetness. That iris is there, but at the same time, it's kind of like a vanilla as well, right? So this fragrance definitely has a good push. I love it absolutely. Very masculine, definitely related to them, but this one has its own character as well. I really like it. This one I'll give it 9 out of 10 compared to the previous three. The last one before I go to LIDGE is this one. This one is the most expensive, believe it or not, from this lineup that I had to pay for. This is Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Parfum or Parfum. So this is a small 50 ml bottle. This costed me $85. I had to pay for the retail because I really wanted it. I could not wait for any discounts, which never got discounted. And this whole line has nothing to do with Dior Intense. I did Narciso Rodriguez for him, EDP, and then Bleu Noir. They had this violet leaves, kind of like a light kind of cologne, but then they went different direction. Bleu Noir Parfum, suddenly there's introduction of iris, and then, man, this smells so great. It smells also beautiful, really good atomizer. So the price, if you convert to 100 ml, this one comes like around $150. So that makes it very expensive. So when I spray this, it's a little bit different. You can also smell the iris here, but you also get that violet leaves, a little bit of a freshness, a little bit of the Narciso DNA. But this one also I feel has a cardamom or something, a mild spicy, and then I think patchouli or something in there makes it a little bit dark. And this is also very good for cold weathers. All these five, including the last one, very good for cold weathers. Okay, so I like it a lot, but not everybody is going to appreciate it like I do, because I think this one has its own sort of DNA compared to the previous four. This one is a little bit different, a little bit fresher, lighter, but at the same time, it has this Narciso DNA, but that iris is very light. It's not as sticky or as makeupy. And I think this one, it's uh, like masculine. Out of these, masculine, masculine, masculine. This is also masculine, but Dior Intense is kind of like some people say it's a makeup bag vibe. So some people makes it comes a little bit feminine. So I understand that. So this is not. So the last four, they're all good. Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir, I give it like 8.5, okay, compared to the whole line. So as we talk about all these darker, sexy iris DNA, the last one I'm going to talk about is LIDGE, okay, L'Instant de Guerlain. This perfume, it I got so many requests to sell this off. Couple of brothers of mine, they're like, I'm going to pay you $200 for this much juice. Okay, this is like very rare to find now. I do have the EDT of this same bottle. I love that as well, but this is not like Dior Intense's sweetness. This is cacao. Okay, this one has some of the other notes. There is this note called this. I always forget that note. Man, not cinnamon. It's like the star anise. Yes, the star anise note, and then it has a little bit of that chocolatey, a little bit of a orange somewhere. Very interesting fragrance. You do not understand this fragrance on the first spray, but more and more day goes by, you understand what a mature fragrance that was. On the skin, it develops like crazy. It smells sexy. It smells like a real man. If you ask about Tom Ford, Noir de Noir, definitely got some character to it, like Tom Ford Noir, sorry, not Noir de Noir, Noir, or something like Prada Amber Purom Intense. Yeah, definitely got some statement. But then, there is La Nuit de l'Homme. You might feel that is sexy. But if you want to top everything off, if you ask me to pick one fragrance above Dior Intense, it's going to be this one. Okay. Not the modern formulations, this one, this particular one, which goes for $300-400 now, even more. So why is it so sexy? Because it's that quality of Guerlain. Guerlain is such a fantastic house. I discovered them very late. I'm like a late bloomer or something like that. I understood the house much later. Shalimar, Liege, or some of the other ones, Vetiver, Rouge, Abbey Rouge. So these fragrances, they're just heritage or heritage. Guerlain does fragrance different. Even the L'Homme line, very underrated. Okay, so this one is a big brother to Dior Intense. If you want to man it up, this is where you look. Definitely no iris, but if you ask me, what's even better than Dior Intense, I would pick LIDGE. That's why I talked about it last. But again, wearability wise, Dior Intense is all year round. But this one, LIDGE, I just need very special moment to appreciate it. Okay, so there you go. That's the last one. This is a perfection, 10 out of 10 as well. But I rate it higher than rest of them. Okay, if possible, try to collect these fragrances before they're completely gone. I'm pretty sure you can still get them. Pretty sure. Apart from this, you can get the rest of them if you pay a little bit of money. And these are the fragrance worth collecting, and also keep in your collection even as a sample. Just experience it once in your lifetime. Okay, there you go. I just wanted to do this list so bad. Man, I hope winter comes. So it's just still warm weather in Bangladesh. Just waiting for colder months. I would rock these fragrances like there is no tomorrow. Have a nice day. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. Which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comment section. I will read your comments. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye.